Here we are again.
Yes, sir.
It's your man Mazo,
Clay from Brooklyn. Football with the fellas.
all about Big Blue.
Yes, it is.
We got another episode here, huh? And we play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're looking back on week 9 and we just played against Washington Commanders and once again, without a kicker. Or without the kicker we were expecting to play with.
I don't understand that. What like you said this again in the previous episode, the Giants find a way to bam things up. It's just they find a way to not, how could they not have the kicker was a problem in the first week. Like we didn't have one. I mean, literally didn't have one. And now, how does kickers get hurt?
Fine all week, and then all of a sudden, a couple of minutes before game time seemed like actually it was the day before game time. He's on the injury report, out, not questionable, not doubtful, out.
What are they doing? I mean, they're not stretching enough. Is it what is the flexibility thing? Do kickers lift?
Washington is where the federal government is located that we should investigate. I feel like this happens twice against Washington. Maybe this is a Washington thing.
Maybe it is. Because I couldn't understand that. I just like, oh, here we go. I mean, he was an injury report, and then who came off the injury report? It was Singletary.
Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy came off. Tracy
came back from concussion protocol.
So we got the good news.
And then mixed in there, like in the fine print, oh, and by the way, Greg Joseph will be out this week. I'm like, what's wrong with Greg Joseph?
And the guy we got, like, where did he come from? How do you find the kicker? Just like
I've read something about him, which I didn't follow up on. I can't remember for sure, but I believe they said that he kicked at Rutgers last year, but attempted no field goals. He was the kickoff specialist. So they had him on the team. Now, and in college, you can have like 100 guys on the team. So I guess a kickoff specialist is not that big a luxury in college because there's an unlimited number of people you can have on the team just about.
But that's assuming you're scoring a lot then, right?
I guess. Apparently, he had kicked field goals like 2 years ago, but last year he only kicked off. So that makes me think he got fired from kicking field goals.
Right, he got beat out by a freshman probably.
And last year he only let you kick off. Then how well did you kick field goals?
Not too well.
Why would they make the change if you were the bomb at kicking field goals?
Right. And so, how did the Giants find him?
Because he went to Rutgers. So I guess he was hanging out in the neighborhood. Like, we don't have a kicker. Call that guy who keeps showing up and asking for autographs.
The guy at Home Depot or something like that.
It's crazy. We did have him on the practice squad, which I guess you should get credit for that, for having an extra kicker on the practice squad, but your third string kicker on the practice squad. Anyway, the first week we played Washington, not the first week, the first time we played Washington, which was week 2, we scored 3 touchdowns and no extra points. Missed the first extra point, and then went for a 2-point conversion twice and missed both of those. This time we played Washington, we scored 3 touchdowns again.
Right.
Now, in fairness, we did make 1 extra point. But then in their infinite wisdom, the coaching staff decides, let's stop kicking extra points. Let's go for 2. Twice. How many times do you think we made it?
Don't we have problems in the red zone normally?
We have problems on offense.
But
we have problems scoring, period.
Oh. I'm going to say it. And Daniel did it too. First series, he did it again. Why don't we just pencil another team in for 7 at the beginning of the game? Or that it's funny. It wasn't even, remember that the one he fumbled and he tried to get away with the pass, say it was a pass?
But that was a bad call because they had blown the whistle. They had blown the play dead. And I believe it was Devin Singletary, the running back, I think it was Singletary, was running towards the ball to recover it. And then he heard the whistle, so he stopped.
Right.
Now, somebody from Washington was also chasing the ball, but he was actually closer to the ball than the Washington guy. But then the whistle blew. So he stopped. He's like, why am I going to dive on this ball and have these two or three people fall on top of me and
Right.
risk injury when you've already blown the whistle. And then after that, a different Washington guy, not even the one who was getting ready to fall on him, picks the ball up
And you read it, yeah.
and they give him the ball. They're like, upon further review, that was not an incomplete pass. That was a fumble. And this brother who wasn't even nowhere near the football, but just kept running after the whistle, gets the ball. Seriously? Because if I hit somebody that long after the whistle, they're going to throw a penalty on me and say, well, that was unnecessary roughness. You didn't hear the whistle? Play to the whistle. Well, apparently play to the whistle only counts if you're not on the Giants.
It seems that way. It just seems that way. But Daniel finds a way to put the ball on the turf every first series. Every first
Somehow to turn it to the other team, whether it's on the turf or as a lame interception or just a quick 3 and out.
Right.
Somehow he wants to make sure the other team feels at home. It's a great host.
Oh, like, it was terrible. I was like, no, not again, please, not again, Daniel, please, no.
I mean, that one wasn't his fault. It was a terrible call, but the result was the same. And again, we scored 3 touchdowns in the first game, and we scored 3 touchdowns and a field goal this time. But we not missed because we didn't actually kick the extra point, but we missed out on extra points twice. So of course we only wound up with 22 points instead of what normally would be 24 points.
Because Dable had no confidence in the kicker we brought in.
No, because he was doing this analytics thing, which drives me crazy. So the analytics says if you're down by 2 touchdowns and you go for 2, you have 2 chances to go for 2, right? Presumably you're going to score another touchdown, right? So you're down by 14. If you go for 2 now and make it, now you're only down by 6. So if you score again and kick the extra point, you actually take the lead. Like that's the theory, is that if you make it the first time, then you're going to get 15 points out of these 2 touchdowns instead of 14 points. So if you're down 14, here's how you get 15. And if you miss it the first time, so now you're down 8, so you'll have to go for it the second time. But supposedly you make 2-point conversions about 50% of the time. So if you miss the first one, you'll probably make the second one, and there's your 14 points anyway.
Analytics.
You're stuck on offense. So we, of course, didn't make it the first time and didn't make it the second time.
Right.
So now we wind up with 12 points out of 2 touchdowns instead of what should have been a minimum of 14 points.
So we can't use analytics is what we're saying. We shouldn't be using analytics at all.
Repping my Giants here.
NY, Big Blue, baby.
NY in the house. We should not go for 2 ever again. We are 0 for 6 this year going for 2. In fact, if I remember correctly, the rest of the league is averaging about 25% on 2-point conversions, and we are 0%. We're 0 for 6.
So I guess that's really not a good option for us at this point. So
first of all, we're bad on offense, and second of all, we're bad at scoring. So you want to put our offense out there to try to score again? Kick the ball, please.
Well, we can't. Well, oh wait. Daniel did something we've been talking about all the time. He actually was running. I mean, he was playing well and running, but you see that touchdown he got? He lowered his right shoulder. It's like, why, Daniel? Don't lower your right shoulder. But he ran the guy over. But it's like he lowered his right shoulder and got in the end zone. But I'm like, Daniel, are you trying to get on the sidelines some way somehow and get paid for it?
Listen, it was a good run. He's a big, strong man. I give him props. He got into the end zone. But you're right. If he winds up going down with an injury and he's out next year, we owe him an extra $22 million on top of the $22 million we're already going to take the cap hit on. I'm not going to be happy.
He's got. I mean, they're already.
But he's trying. He's giving it his all.
I mean, he ran well. He ran a couple of plays. He ran.
Yeah. No, he was faking the ball and then pulling it and running it, kind of like he did back when we had Saquon. And to his credit, he was making the right read. The 2 or 3 times he did that, he gained nice chunks of yards.
He's got no foot speed anymore. No
Listen,
foot speed.
He's He's not slow. He's just not quick. Like if you get him 5 or 10 yards of straight line running, he will get up to full speed, and that speed's not terrible. I think he ran like a 4.7 at the combine, 4.75, something like that. That's not terrible for a quarterback. Again,
Right.
not Lamar or Kyler,
No.
but 4.75 is decent for a quarterback. But he has no moves, he has no jukes. He has cuts, but he doesn't have jukes. Like
He has a
he's not
slight
going.
lean. He has a slight lean to the left
He
or the
has a
right.
slight lean, and he'll take the angle and try to outrun you. And he does what he does.
But,
Whatever.
he doesn't do enough for someone who makes the money he makes, though.
Oh no, no sir, not even close. For the money he makes, he should be, 30 for 35 for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns, every week. And then running for 80 more yards and a touchdown. Like that, he's making ridiculous money for somebody who's not very good. For
Running,
somebody
you know
who's
what?
1 in 15 in prime time.
Speaking of Saquon, speaking of Saquon, do I have a moment? Can I just
Please,
just
please,
break a moment?
please.
I just have to. I have to do this because I need a moment. Okay, did we see this?
Insane.
Everyone remember this. This play was all over the news.
Oh yeah.
But this is running right here. Left him. That's insane what he just did.
Ridiculous.
But wait, now everybody's talking about the leap right there, right? Me, I'm talking about the second guy
The second guy was the key. I agree 100%.
the second guy. He look right here. The second guy, he broke down.
Right.
Thinks he's got him. He never touched Saquon.
Never touched him. Complete whiff.
He never.
If that was flag or two-hand touch, he still does not have the tackle.
He had broke down in front of Saquon. It was so funny. He's right there in front of Saquon. He figures he's got him. He's looking right dead at his chest. And look at Saquon. Their helmets almost touch.
Right.
And he never touched. He tried to trip him.
I know.
He never touched Saquon.
It
And then
was
Saquon went on to do, that right there.
Do you remember when Bo Jackson caught that ball in the outfield and then ran up the wall?
Yes.
Couldn't stop. That's the only other thing I've ever seen like this that made me say, "Whoa, what was that?" I had never seen stuff like that before. That was crazy.
I mean, look how high. Look, actually, look at where he is over this guy.
Yeah, it's like if that was forward, that would be ridiculous.
Right. He did it backwards, and the big thing for me is we didn't need that. We don't need.
No. Why would we want that guy?
We don't need that in our backfield.
No, what? Not for $12 million. Oh no.
See,
I'd rather give John Runyon Jr. $11 million and then Devin Singletary $5 million. That makes much more sense.
that was frustrating. That was truly when I saw that, and then like everybody picked it up. And it was every news show, like for days.
It was on like the Golf Channel. Like it was all over the world. Everybody talking about this play, whether they play football or not.
He went down I-95, got paid.
And honestly, didn't break the bank. He got paid what he should get paid.
Right.
Like they didn't go overboard. Like McCaffrey still makes more than him.
And McCaffrey's on the sidelines. He's hurt all the time.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's not like he's the highest paid running back in football.
After that play, he could be, but
he should be. He's been Offensive Player of the Week 3 times this year. Let me say that again. The NFL gives out an Offensive Player of the Week award. We're in week 9. Like 9 weeks have happened. Like this is going to be week 10, but 9 games have happened. He's won it 3 times.
3 times. But the Giants didn't need that in the backfield.
Didn't need that. Kind of do.
Okay. All right.
All right. But let's talk about some of the other parts of the Giants Commanders game because again, we lost this game 27-22. Should have been a couple of things could easily have happened that might have gotten a W for us. One is that first fumble that led to their first touchdown was a terrible call. That shouldn't have been a turnover. Like we should still have that ball. Then later in the game, they called an offensive pass interference on Darius Slayton, which was another terrible call. And it took a touchdown off the board for us.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And then, of course, we didn't score. We kicked the field goal. We didn't score a touchdown. We kicked the field goal. So that's 4 points that we don't have that we should have because they made us kick a field goal instead of the touchdown. That's 2 points we don't have because we didn't kick extra points after 2 of our touchdowns.
Right.
That's 6 points. And the 7 points they shouldn't have because that really wasn't a fumble. And they took the ball on our 30 and then walked in and scored.
Oh, that was easy
So
too.
if you take away 7 from them, that gives them 20 instead of 27. And if you put back 6 from us, that gives us 28 instead of 22. We could have won this game 28-20, basically with the same production that we were able to put together.
I'm dumbfounded. I'm serious. I'm dumbfounded. I was like, we had this game. We started coming back, and I'm thinking the Giants, they just might do it. Like I was like, maybe we're just running out of time. I said, but we might do it. But then I seen the offense. Every time the offense, we stop moving ahead, and then all of a sudden, some no discipline at all. There's some offsides, I can understand the holding at times because I know it's tough to stop guys, rushers. They hold practically every play, every offensive line.
You can call holding every play.
They can do it. I understand that. But jumping off sides all over, lining up wrong.
And honestly, we didn't do that as much as we usually do. We actually, so here's a couple of other statistics. We only had 4 penalties, 4 accepted penalties for 51 yards. They had 5 for 52 yards. So really, it wasn't a heavily penalized game. It's the when, not the how many, right?
Right.
Like in key moments, we would do something boneheaded. We actually had 32 minutes of time of possession to their 28. Like we had the ball longer than they did. We ran 59 offensive plays. They ran 60. Basically the same thing.
Basically the same.
We had 326 total yards of offense. They had 358 yards of offense. And this is a team that was 3rd in the league in scoring, right? This is a team that was marching down the field, dropping 30s on people left and right. Overall, if you had asked me before the game, would I sign for Washington having 27 points, especially when they really should have only had 20? And I'd say, yeah, if you're going to tell me that Washington is going to be scoring 27, I guess I would sign for that. They were averaging, I think, 30 before this game. And there were so many things that we even ran the ball well. We ran the ball. We got 164 yards rushing.
Yeah, we looked good on the ground.
Yards a carry.
We did look good on the ground.
And this is a team that was struggling to open holes for his running backs most of the season. I mean, Tyrone Tracy has been a breath of fresh air, and he's looked good. But we've had our struggles on the ground.
The ground game did look good. It did look good. I mean, again, that's why Daniel was able to run around the ends a couple of times. But
right,
it's like you said. I think like you hit the nail on the head when you said it's when we get these penalties. Like when we're deep in our neck of the game of the field and we get a penalty or we get a turnover right there, like within the 20-yard line.
We set them up nicely.
It's like that Washington can pick up the ball and they can only have to go like 20 yards to score.
They're already in field goal range.
Right.
No, and again, the key to me is we find ways to lose games. Good teams find ways to win games. So all those stats I just read to you, we had 1 less play offensively than them. We had the ball 4 minutes longer. We had about 30 yards less than them total yardage. That sounds like we played well.
Yeah.
And we did play well, right? I mean, we were in the game.
Yeah.
But did you ever at any point actually think we were going to win that game? I mean, you're very optimistic. So
right. I was at kickoff before it started. And then after that first series, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a long one. But we did play well, I think, mid-game. And
Again,
I'm thinking, yeah, this is it. They're coming back. This is Daniel Jones' moment here. He's gonna revitalize himself right here, and then some passes weren't made.
listen,
uh,
we were averaging 14 points a game and we scored 22. And like I said, we really should have had 24.
I predicted
Uh,
17.
uh, so what I'm saying, so offensively, this was an above average game for us. So this week our defense lets us down, right? So our defense doesn't usually give up 27 points.
No,
But for some reason, this week we gave up 27 points to the Commanders. There were a couple of, they had a 3rd and 18 that they converted and then went on to score on that drive. Like there were some times when it looked like we were playing good. They were only 5 of 12 on 3rd down, which is, I should say only 5 of 12 is not bad actually, but they were 5 of 12 on 3rd
right,
down,
right.
but they were 2 of 2 on 4th down. So 5 of 12 sounds like 7 times you didn't make it. Well, really, 2 of those times they went for it on
He
4th
went for it
down
and
and
made
did
it.
make it. So really, that's like saying they were 7 of 12 because they, successfully extended the drive anyway. So, it's always something. It's the kicker, it's the offense, it's the defense, it's a punt return, it's something, it's penalties, it's something every week.
But we can't put it all together. It's like one side of the ball plays well and the other side is lacking.
Or someone runs a punt back, even though they ran into our punter and they didn't call it. Someone runs a punt back for a touchdown. Like, it's offense, it's defense, especially somehow, one part or another, or bonehead play calls, whatever it is, we're going to find a way to lose games. Good teams find ways to win games. So
Speaking of
hopefully next year will be a
bonehead,
good team.
speaking of bonehead play calls on the big blueprint,
The big blueprint.
Clay's doing a big blueprint. He's gonna show you a couple of plays where there was questionable calls, questionably called play, and it was questionable even with what the receivers were doing.
The route combinations, the actual assignment that our tight end has, they're just head scratchers. The big blueprint is going to look at different things that you could file under the category of head scratchers. Like why? Why would that be the call? Because I'm not in the huddle, right? I don't know what they were supposed to do. I just know what it looked like and what they did. And something there doesn't add up.
It doesn't, and after I've reviewed it, so you guys are gonna see it soon. Um, I look and see what Daniel Jones looks at, and I can see why sometimes he's getting sacked. It's not
Yes.
all his fault. I can say it's not
No,
always
it's not all his fault.
not
No,
always his fault, but
but again, at 40 million, you're supposed to be able to figure it out
rise
more
above that.
often than he figures it out. I'm not saying you got to score a touchdown every drive, but you got to figure it out more often than he does.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
A couple
yeah.
of years ago, when Joe Burrow brought the Bengals to the Super Bowl, he got sacked, I think, 9 or 10 times in the first round of the playoffs, and they still won that game. Like his offensive line was letting him down too. And he was like getting up off the turf and just saying, I got this. Don't worry about it. All right, it's 3rd and 16. That's fine. Jamar, I got you. He would find a way to elevate his team. Now he also had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones has the same circumstances. Certainly, I'm not saying he's the same player. I'm just saying there are quarterbacks that can elevate the team. We don't have one.
No, I think he's pretty much has proven it at this point. It's just a matter of time when Dable is going to bring the next guy in. Bring in Drew Lock, see what he's got. It'd be nice, but but we're going to where are we going to?
We're
We're
going to
going to
Germany
Paris.
this week to play. We're going to Germany to play against
Germany.
the Carolina Panthers at 9:30 in the morning this Sunday. And honestly, and the bye week is after that. I suspect that if we lose this game to Carolina, who is also terrible,
Oh, it's over.
terribler, if that's the thing, that might be the last game for Daniel Jones. Like if we lose 41-38, fine. But if we go out there and we lose this game, 17-10 because offense couldn't get anything going, I believe that
He's
when we
gone.
come back from the bye week 2 weeks later, it'll be with either Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, they'll have time to work on. They'll get like a whole
They'll
yeah.
have time to get him up to speed, to get some reps in. That's what I would do. If I was the coach, first of all, I would have already benched him. But certainly when the 2 week window comes, that's a good place to make a change.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Because you gotta reward the rest of the locker room, right? You can't just keep telling the other 52 guys, give me your best, when they know that the person who has the biggest input in the W and L column is not getting it done. And there's two other people on the roster who could get it done. Like, why are they on the roster?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a kicker who doesn't even kick field goals, and you put him in the game, but you can't put a quarterback who's been in the NFL for the same length of time as Daniel Jones in the game. Come on now.
I always wondered, like, it's funny, it's just like they never think about, like, can you bring a guy in for a little bit, like a relief pitcher, and then take him out, let the other guy like look from the sidelines for a while, and they never did. It's like you come out, that's it. It's
Right,
like
right. I mean, other positions do that, right?
right.
Like literally every other position, except maybe kicker, you can say, let's put this guy in for a little while, give the other guy a breather. Let's see what this guy has. Let's see what he gets done. But they don't do that with quarterbacks. You're right. I guess the feeling is the quarterback is the leader of your team, and you don't want to, as they used to say, if you got two quarterbacks, then you don't have any.
Right,
So
right.
I guess that's the feeling.
Okay, all right, but yeah, I get it would bring up, I guess that thing if the backup played really well, then you're saying
Now you got a controversy.
right, right, which is it's gonna happen, like you said. I think the next game the next game will be it for him. So I'm thinking they're going to Germany. Here's my score again. I can't give them more than 17 again. Matter of fact, actually, I'm going down to 14. I'm going down to
Okay.
14 now. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, they'll blame it on jet lag, and I'm just gonna blame it on just. But
Giant lag.
Daniel Jones has to know this is. He has to know this is it. He has to know. I mean, just as you pointed
It
out,
should
he's
be.
got to know that. He's got to know this could be it for him. You
Right.
know,
And you would hope that they've told him that. Like, I don't think he should be blindsided by this. I would
right?
hope Brian Dable pull him to the side and say, yo, come here, bro. This is the one. If we don't beat Carolina, who is also terrible. Now, just briefly, let me step aside and say, so there are no teams in the NFL with 0 wins, and there are no more teams with 1 win. Everybody has at least 2 wins in the NFL. How many wins do we have? 2 wins. So we probably got the first pick in the draft, don't we?
We still.
That must be the case, right? I mean, we have the worst record in football. You would think we have the first pick in the draft, don't you?
We should have it. We should be in the top two,
One would think that
right?
if you're going to have the lowest number of wins in the National Football League,
Right.
as we do, that you'd be in the top 2 or 3. We're seventh. If
No.
the draft was today, we would be seventh
Why? Wait. Why?
because we can't even get bad right.
How are we doing this?
We can't even get bad right because there
How are
are
we doing this?
7 teams in the National Football League there's actually 9 teams with 2 wins, but 2 of them have had their bye week, so they're only 2-6. So technically, they're, they have a different record than we do, technically. But we have the 7th pick, right? The 2 teams that are 2-6, technically they have a slightly higher winning percentage than us because they only have 6 losses, not 7. But of the 7 teams that have 2 wins and 7 losses, we have the hardest strength of schedule of all 7. So you get the last pick of the teams you're tied with record-wise. We literally have the worst record in football, but we get the 7th pick.
So we would actually have to be like say the only team, say like with 2 wins to actually move up. Meaning like if everyone else had like
Right.
3
Well,
wins.
as the season progresses, your strength of schedule changes every week, right? Depending on who you're playing against. So by the end of the year, our strength of schedule might not be quite as high. So maybe we'll get into the top, 3 or 4. But the best shot we have of moving up is losing games. Now, I never root for us to lose games. I don't
I don't
want
want to lose,
but we're playing Carolina this week, and Carolina is bad. They're one of those teams with 2 wins, and they just got their 2nd win. I want us to win this game. But I'm telling you that if we do not win this game, I will not be as upset as usual because that would give us the inside track. That's one of the 6 teams that's ahead of us would now be behind us in the draft.
Okay, yeah.
And because their record is bad, it lowers our strength of schedule percentage. So we might actually pass more than one team. So we might wind up, fifth if we lose to Carolina. Again, I'm not asking us to lose. I never want to lose. And Carolina is bad, so it would take a lot for us to lose.
So wait a minute, I might have to reassess my score then. So this might be a 9-6 affair then.
A pitcher's duel.
This might be a 9-6 because they're both sorry. So, and they're going to Germany.
I don't understand who in the NFL office said, let's try to grow the sport. Let's take some games over to Germany. I know who we should send. Carolina and the Giants.
Right. Right.
That's going to make people say, oh, this game is boring. I don't like this sport at all.
Let us get up early to watch that game. 9:30 on a Sunday. Unbelievable. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna stay optimistic. Like you said, we never want them to lose. We don't root for them to lose at all.
That's not what I'm rooting for.
It happens. But this is a game they should win. I'm going 9-6. I'm sorry, I'm down to 9-6. I forgot. I didn't realize Carolina was that bad. Okay, 9-6. It's going to be a field goal game. Can we take more than one field goal kicker with us on the plane?
Well, our original starting kicker, Graham Gano, was at practice this week. So I'm not saying he's going to be ready to make the trip. I don't know that, but he is eligible to come off IR.
Okay. He's
at practice this week, and we cut our backup punter, Hawk, I don't even know how you say his name. We cut him. So it looks like our punter is back also. So we may have both of our kicking specialists back, if not this week, certainly after the bye week.
9-6. The best. This is going to be a field game. 12-6. That's it. I go 12-6 maybe, but I'm not.
I would be thrilled if we have a kicker that can make 4 field goals. That would be a W on its own.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say it will not surprise me if we beat Carolina because they're terrible, but it certainly won't surprise me if we lose because we're terrible. So this is a battle of the 2-7s, 2 of the 2-7s, and I don't know how you pick a favorite in that game. But I'm rooting for Big Blue.
Big Blue fans, are you all getting up 9:30 Sunday morning? Get up, watch this game. You definitely got to watch this game. And, put in the comments what you think the score is going to be in the game.
Yes.
Please put that in the comments. Let us know about that. We got to little, not a wager. We're not going to bet anything like that. We just want to know, who's going to be closest. I'm saying the game's going to be 12-6. Giants score 12. Giants win 12-6.
All right.
That's what I got.
That's going to be 2 bad teams. That's
2 bad teams. They're playing on soccer.
Bad football.
They're playing on a soccer field.
I hope that there's like a long touchdown or something exciting to give the people of Europe something to think about and reason to watch another one of these games if the NFL sends another pair of teams over there in the next year. All right, listen, Mazo, we talked about the Giants and Commanders. We looked briefly ahead at the Panthers. That to me is a good place to bring it to a close before the pessimism kicks back.
Oh, yeah. So look, everybody, we always ask you to please like, subscribe, and share these videos with others. Because remember, it's all about Big Blue. Remember, it's all about Big Blue.
Yes, sir.
I'm your man, Mazo.
Play for Brooklyn, football with the fellas.
It's all about Big Blue.
We'll see you next time.
Y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Big shout out to El Marquis Productions, the talent behind the music and production here at Football with the Fellas. It's all about Big Blue. Their beats bring energy and excitement to every episode. El Marquis' skills in mixing, mastering, and creating top quality sound make the podcast come alive each week. For your own projects, check out elmarquisproductions.com and take your sound to the next level.